Hello, welcome back to the channel. We're going to jump right into today's topic, my 2021 goals for my portfolio. Let's get to it. You cannot properly set a goal without knowing where you stand currently and how you did in the past, so we're going to briefly go over 2020. In the beginning of 2020, I set out to make $134.62 a week in all of my accounts total. This includes Robinhood, this includes my Vanguard IRA, this includes my 401k, and any shares I get from the company I work for. Each week, the total of the returns of all the accounts must be at least $134.62 for me to reach this goal. This means that if Robinhood, for some reason, is down for me $300 for that week, all the other accounts have to pick up the slouch of Robinhood and have to make more money to offset the losses I had on Robinhood. I not only beat my weekly target, but I crushed it. I made $376 on average each week. Not to mention that the target, $134 average per week, was at a 25% return, meaning I made more than 50% of returns this year. Full disclosure though, that is not exactly accurate because this chart only takes in consideration the second half of the year. I didn't start recording any of my progress till June 15, I believe, meaning the first half of the year, which was a shit show for the most part with the coronavirus tanking the markets and then everything recovering extremely fast. So I will just say in the beginning of the year, my portfolio was somewhere between $20,000 and $25,000, and now I have $57,000 or close to $60,000. You guys can make what you want of that. You also can see here the contributions, and if we assume that I contributed about the same in the first half as I did in the second half, I contributed about $20,000, meaning my assets without contributions would be $37,000. All this to say that I don't know exactly what my average weekly return is. The charts say that it is above 50%. I'm just saying I'm not quite so sure it is. However, I do know that I at least beat the target that I set out for. If you multiply $134.62 times 52, you will get a number that is less than $10,539, which is exactly what I made in the second half in the market. I will be making a video soon summarizing my year in the market for 2020. If you're interested, the card will be here once it's uploaded. Analyzing and breaking down my 2020 statistics briefly, we can assume that I made at least 25% returns year over year in 2020. So for 2021, my yearly goal is to up it slightly. I want to make 26% returns year over year in 2021. I also plan on adding $43,000 worth of new assets in 2021. With that, we can have a good idea now of what to expect next year. With a starting balance of $57,000, contributing $43,000 that same year, with a return rate of 26%, I am expecting $115,000 in my portfolio by the end of 2021. This means that by the end of 2021, I should have $15,000 worth of gains. I should be making at least $15,000 in the market to reach the goal you see here. So now the good stuff. How far am I to this goal, and how much do I need each week to reach the goal? As you can see here, I am not even close to reaching the goal with the assets I have now, which is to be expected since the year hasn't even started. Also, since this is an aggressive goal, I expect to not be anywhere near it because 25% and the new 26% goal for 2021 is way more than the average that the market does return each year. We can also see here that my weekly target goal has increased from $134 to $283. If you recall from my 2020 statistics, my weekly average return since June was $370. So I am well on my way to exceeding the target that I have set out for in 2021. Though 26% return year over year is very aggressive, I have set a track record of exceeding 25% and have no doubt that I will meet this goal as long as the markets don't totally tank in 2021, which is a big worry for me. Though people are getting a stimulus and therefore the economy should be booming at least slightly, the printing of money and the inflation that it brings is also worrisome. I treated Bitcoin differently at the end of 2020 just because it is an alternative to the dollar, and if printing continues, then the dollar will inevitably go down in value, and Bitcoin is just an alternative that will hopefully maintain its value, if not keep going up because of the printing of money. Though I am worried about 2021, I would label myself as a cautious optimist. I do think that 2021 might be a little bit bad, but overall, I feel that my portfolio will be okay as long as I don't make any huge mistakes and I continue to do what I did in 2020. It is also worth noting that I am going to be contributing a lot of money to my portfolio that will increase the amount that you see currently at about $57,000 and adding $42,000, which is more than half. It's almost close to the same amount that I have currently in my portfolio as is. In fact, if we look at all the contributions that I will be making personally and taking away any contributions that are because of my employer, like the 401k match you see here, or the 401k yearly 3%, which is also given by my employer every year, I will be utilizing 41% of my paycheck pre-tax, and I'm sure you're aware that the money you take home does not remotely equal the money you actually make. Taxes take about 20% at least of your paycheck. So even though the 41% does seem somewhat low, I assure you it is a very aggressive contribution amount. I will be utilizing the close to $43,000 in the following ways. I plan to contribute about $4,300 to my 401k, which is exactly a 5% contribution from my salary. This means that my employer will give me the max allowable match that they are willing to offer me, which is again 5% at $4,300. My employer also gives me a yearly 3% contribution for free just for being there. I will stress that the 401k match and the 401k yearly are not included in my percentage utilization of my paycheck because that is not coming from my paycheck at all. Moving on, we have ESPP, which stands for Employee Share Purchase Program. I buy into the company, I get their stock at a cheaper price, and I continue to invest my money into the company at the tune of $8,600. Also, I plan to contribute to my Robinhood, and this is the biggest contribution of the year, being $17,000. I primarily do my trading on Robinhood, and I've had a lot of luck on Robinhood, so I'm going to continue doing what works for me. I will say that I might split this $17,000 from just going into Robinhood and also starting a different account so I can have different statistics, different trading patterns, and seeing how they work out. And finally, we have Vanguard. I am going to be contributing $6,000, which is the max you can contribute per year. In terms of assets, I plan, like I said, to continue to put money into crypto, in particular Bitcoin, just because of inflation. I'm really worried about the printing of money, and Bitcoin is just, like I said, an alternative to the dollar. Also, Bitcoin in general has been on fire for the last 3 months. It's been going up insanely. It's almost doubling within 2 months, I would say. So I'm definitely going to be putting more money into Bitcoin. Other than crypto, I do have 3 tech stocks that are my favorite stocks to invest in general. Them being Sea Limited, which is an ISP in Asia, and also Apple, which is obviously a really big American company. I'm sure you've heard of Apple. And finally, CRISPR Therapeutics, which is a company that is researching the CRISPR technology, which is a gene editing technique that will allow scientists to genetically modify living organisms, which has a really big potential in curing cancer which will then in turn make a lot of money. Those three companies made me a lot of money this year, so I'm going to continue the trend set last year and continue to invest in those companies to make hopefully a lot more money than I made in 2020. 2020 overall for me was a great year. I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with me on that one, but I'm very excited for 2021 and seeing what it brings. And hopefully, what it brings is a lot of gains. If you made it this far, make sure you like and subscribe. It means a lot. Leave a comment on what you expect 2021 to bring, and I'll see you guys in the next one.